Very welcome here once again in LATOKEN Venture Capital TV. My name is Javier. I'll be your host for today. And like every session, we try to bring you the best innovation, technology, and solutions. Doing all our sessions, you get it to hear directly from the CEO or the founders. And the best part, you can directly make them a question. Just go down to the chart part. You can post your question or your comment even, and we'll be addressing it. What better way to get to know the project? But before we move on to the interview, as a reminder, you can always see our previous shows and content by visiting token.com/VCTV/shows. Also, follow us on our socials like Facebook and Twitter. If you're watching this on YouTube, just hit the subscribe button. You'll always be informed of great content, opportunities, and even giveaways. Always, you're welcome to post your questions or comments. As an important reminder, anything mentioned here is not any type of financial advice. Do your research before making any decision. It's your choices and your responsibility. And with that said, I'm very glad to introduce to our guest from BlockDesk Ventures, Edward. Very welcome. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. And yourself?
Perfect, perfect. Well, under these circumstances, but I would say pretty good.
Could be better,
Well,
yeah.
Edward, it's fantastic to have you here because, as far as I remember, we didn't have the chance to have a show with a venture capital company. So this is, I think, is a great time to really ask those questions we were always afraid of making that we never had a chance to make. So for that, I think it's a perfect opportunity. So we're full of questions. I'm sure our audience will be glad to post their questions and we're going to address them. And also, we have something special for our viewers, a special announcement about a partnership, which we were going to be telling them later on. With that said, Edward, I would like you, if you could please tell us a little bit about yourself and about BlockDesk.
Fantastic. Well, yeah, once again, thank you for having me on your show. I'm the founder of BlockDesk Ventures. A venture capitalist is basically a company that invests in startups. So that's what we really focus on, is helping startups deliver their vision to the industry before the launch. So that is, marketing, community management, and obviously we invest into the project ourselves. I'm the founder. There's another 5 co-founders in my team. And myself personally, I've been working in the industry for roughly 6 years now. But before, I used to work in the sidelines or in the background more, and I worked as a business development manager. So I helped projects connect to each other and find partnerships and find users for their platform or their game or whatever they were developing. And it was just a natural step for me to start a VC fund because everything that projects really need from VCs is what I've been doing for the past 5 or 6 years. But alongside this, now we also offer funding to these projects. One last thing I would like to say is that BlockDesk Ventures was one of the first community-backed VC funds. So we work closely with our community and also allowed them to invest with us. So that's a pretty cool feature that we have.
Okay, great. Is your community very international? It's coming from one region of the world.
Absolutely. It's starting from the core team. We got people based in Australia, in Europe, people based in Africa and India. So, and the community is the same. So we are very, very global and we welcome everybody in.
Okay, that's great to hear. And now let's talk about a little bit about the VC market, venture capital market. It might be that some of our traders or viewers right now are very familiar with that. Can you please explain us a little bit what is a venture capital company?
So yeah, as mentioned, VCs, they focus on the beginning stages of a project or even an idea. So if you want to start a company in the blockchain industry, this is where we step in. So initially we will offer you funding, but alongside that funding, we offer an array of help. And this help can be making the right partnerships, the right connections. There's many connections that a project needs. For example, if you want to use oracles, you need to know the people in Chainlink. If you need partnerships on delivering your IEO, for example, on a launchpad, you need the connection to launchpads. And obviously advisory helps. So whenever you're starting a project, you're not going to be able to know everything. But because we've helped launch so many projects, we will have advice, and obviously they will have investments from different VCs and a bunch of them, and everybody working together are able to make the project a success, basically. So yeah, it's if we want to talk a little bit more of an overview of the VC market, I think we were discussing this before, and I really want to touch upon this topic because things have really changed. Everything, I would say, has slowed down. Even though we've seen some good activity and volume with Bitcoin and other chains and other coins, VC investments have really slowed down, and a lot of projects are really pushing to get investments. So they're scrambling what they have, and it's been proving really hard to find quality projects. It was much easier maybe 3 or 4 months ago. So that's the trend I'm seeing at the moment.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for that advice. And what do you think is going to be the trend of it? Is it going to be continuing to slowing down, or you think things will eventually start picking up?
So I'm in a group with other VCs that we partner with and that we just basically work with, and the amount of projects that VCs are taking on has definitely slowed down significantly, and even on our side, we aren't taking on board as many projects, and we're being much more thorough in the projects that we invest in. Once again, as I said, because everyone's scared of the bear market, a lot of projects will try to launch now while there's still volume and they're still able to launch and not have a huge dump. So this is the trend I'm seeing. I think one other trend which is very important to notice is a lot of this is pretty interesting. I think a lot of projects have been increasing the amount of their total supply, and I think we all know Dogecoin was the first one to have a huge supply of tokens, and a lot of projects are starting to do this. Blocktopia was one of the best success stories with this, and I think it plays on the human emotions, and I think that's what investment really is playing on human emotions. But when you're buying 100,000 tokens for very cheap, you're thinking it's going to go to $1, you're thinking you're going to become rich, when really it's not the point. So this is the trend we're seeing, is that projects are increasing their total supply to get people more excited about owning more tokens, and they're also pushing projects which aren't necessarily ready for the market at the moment. So yeah, it's definitely going to slow down now. The amount of projects being launched and the amount of projects actually completing the early stage rounds to 100%. This is what I'm seeing at the moment.
Okay, understood. Thank you for that. I have another interesting question. Usually, when a blockchain project is about to release or wants to acquire more funds, they can do so with IEOs or listings, or they can also go to this private placement to raise capital. Where do you see the trend is going? Are they going more for a private placement, or they are going more to do the IEOs and the listings?
So what we've been seeing as of recent is projects are doing both. This has become a standard. So you would have you'll have seed round, private A and B, and then you will do your IEO. But as you can see, a lot of projects are raising these funds. So they're getting VCs to invest in the seed round and the private A and B, but they're not doing the IEOs and they're delaying them. So many projects, even for us, what we have is we have many projects that we have invested in, but they're not launching because of the market, and they're delaying the launch. And there's so many great projects which are afraid to launch because of the market conditions at the moment. So what I am seeing is everyone's doing the private A and B rounds and seed rounds, and they're taking more time to focus on the actual development. And this actually happened back in 2017, and there were some projects, and I kid you not, that waited until this bull run, which is like 3 years until they actually launched. Wow. And this is something that happens, and as an investor, you can't really argue with that decision, because you don't want your investment to die either, so you have to wait. So yeah, this is a trend that I'm worried about that's happening, because it's happened before, you know.
Yeah. Okay. History repeating a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Is there, now that we're talking about trends, do you see any other trends worth mentioning?
Of course, I think the dark horses, NFTs. So even us, we started as a investor into private rounds for actual tokens or coins, and right now we're actually looking to open a new department where we're gonna start investing into NFT projects on the early stages, and getting our community to mint them or before they're listed onto an exchange like OpenSea or any other NFT marketplace. So yeah, I think NFTs, we can't ignore them. They are here, and they are the ones which are making people profit more so than the projects being launched on this market at the moment.
Okay. I've noticed that there is a raise in blockchain projects about gaming that is also related to the metaverse.
Yes, yes,
Several
this.
of them, mainly Asia, have been coming up, and quite of them quite good, I must say.
Hmm. It's the issue with metaverse projects is that they're gonna take literally until the next bull run. So they're gonna take 4 or 5 years to develop this metaverse. So people, yes, they're investing into them. Yes, they're launching. Yes, this is what I said about Blocktopia. That was the success story that went up to, I think it was something like 12 or 16 cents. So people became millionaires with that. But the thing is, the product is not even close. There's
Mhm.
nothing there. It takes, especially like a big AAA gaming company, isn't even able to develop a metaverse very quickly. Imagine somebody just starting a blockchain company and saying, "I'm going to develop a metaverse." It's impossible. It's going to take many years. So what's happening now is, yes, these projects are going to be hyped and they're going to be, there's going to be lots of volume, but it's going to slowly die out until the actual launches, which is going to take a while. But going back to the NFT side, a lot of these projects are selling land at the moment. I'm
Yeah,
sure you've seen that.
yeah.
And what's happening is that actual businesses outside of the blockchain industry are buying this land. For example, McDonald's, a lot of gaming studios like Atari, and they're using this space to advertise themselves,
Hmm.
just simply as that. And this is where this whole NFT land becomes very interesting, because if you buy this land before these companies, you can sell it to them, or more, or even better, rent it to them. And this is where it seems the money's flowing in at the moment in the industry.
You're talking about something like the Central Land, right?
Yeah, or Roblox. Roblox was the one I was thinking while I was giving you these examples, because in the Roblox land sale, uh, literally McDonald's and Atari and
Yeah.
Ubisoft and Binance, they have bought this land. They bought quite big squares of it, which are worth millions of dollars, and they just put their logo on it. So everyone who goes on there, they know that these companies are in the metaverse. They're going to develop their own spaces. They're going to get people to visit them and market whatever they're doing. So this is where I'm seeing the actual money flow at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people have several questions about this.
Mm.
But some people will say that it is a little more of a fade that
Okay.
might
Yeah.
die out. Others could be true believers, like the companies themselves. Like I don't remember which one that spent more than $1 million in a piece of land. Do
This
you
buy, yeah.
think? Yeah, I don't remember. Maybe it was Atari. I don't
No, it was
remember.
Binance. Binance
Oh,
spent
Binance.
millions. Yeah. I know Atari did as well. So yeah.
In your personal point of view, do you think this trend will continue? It's going to be more of a fade that people will be hooked up, and after that, will drop it, kind of like a second life back in
Mm.
the day. What do you think is going to happen?
I wouldn't say I'm an expert with NFT side. So I've worked, like I said, 5 years just coins and tokens. So that's where I know where they're heading. So it's very difficult to say because it's so new. But the marketing potential via these land NFTs is actually huge. So, for example, like a company like, a gaming company or like McDonald's or something, some of them can't get a justification to buy this land, but they can get justification to rent it through their partners and investors. So they could say, we can rent it for a year and see what happens instead of spending 10 million on this land. And this is what people like retail investors who might not have a lot of money, you can buy a little square in the middle where they want to buy their land, and they're going to be forced to either rent it from you or to buy it at a much higher price than you bought it. So it's not going away, but obviously the bottom price and the value can very likely drop, as we have seen as of recent with the current events. The base price of NFTs dropped dramatically, and usually it didn't while crypto was dropping, but everything did drop. So I wouldn't say that something is dead if there's not much activity. We saw the bear market, but cryptocurrency and the blockchain industry was never dead, but there just wasn't as much volume. So I wouldn't look at it as, if the value drops, that it's dead. Not at all. NFTs are here to stay. There is real value behind them, and they're going to evolve. They're going to evolve into going to the legal markets, into property where you're buying shares of property. It's already happening, but that's going to really evolve. And obviously the blockchain itself is going to start entering industries as such. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's going anywhere.
Okay, great feedback. And now I would like to shift the topic of conversation directly to BlockDesk Ventures. That's something that I think we're all very keen to hear about. And one main question is, what is the main problem you foresaw back at that time and motivated you and your partners to start it?
I think we started this roughly a year ago, and this was in the midst of the bull run. And what we saw, there was a big increase in launch pads, which is platforms that allow you to invest in the private round or IDO of a project without having to be a VC. So you can be a retail investor and you can invest small amounts of money into projects. But in order to be able to do so, Launchpads created their own current assets, which is a token or a coin, and you had to own a specific amount of that asset in order to make those investments. And very quickly, what became of it is that in order to get a guaranteed allocation into a project, you had to hold $50,000 worth, $100,000 worth, or more of that token. So what happened is that this was already not for retail investors, because who has a job and who's not a VC, who's working let's say a 9-to-5 job, has 100 grand to risk into an asset which is first of all going to drop, and second of all your allocation is going to be like $300. So what happened is retail investors got quickly pushed out, and there was once again the wealthy getting more wealthy. So I thought this was a huge issue. So when we started our VC fund, yes, I've made some money and I was investing myself, but this is why we had the community, because what we allow our community to do is to invest with us. So they will invest directly into these projects on the private or the seed round or the strategic round, which is something they would never have been able to do, and they can do this for free. What we ask of them is for their time. So we asked them to do social media activity to help promote the project. We asked them to do articles. There's some people who do YouTube videos. There's some people who do graphical design. So all you need to do is bring value to us and the projects we invest in, and then we will allow you to invest with us. And the one rule that we made is that we will never share an investment opportunity unless all of the core team invest ourselves. So our due diligence and our research is extremely important to us. So a lot of people have tried to copy what we're doing, and they're charging, for example, like 10%, 15% of each person. We don't charge anything. And I think that's what has really allowed us to, stay around. I think a lot of projects have tried to do
Wow,
this.
you're not charging any handling fee, any,
Yeah.
you
You
know.
just join and you give us your time, and you don't even send us the money. You send it directly to the project. So we will agree on the call on the project. Not every project will accept this. It's very difficult deal to make, to agree for retail investors to invest like $500 or $1,000 each into these rounds. But if we are able to make this agreement, then these investors send directly to the project, and the project sends them their tokens on their vesting schedule. So we make sure that we don't touch the money, we don't take anything from our community. And the reason we do this is obviously, number one, like I said, we wanted to give an opportunity for retail investors to invest. But the second, I think, and which is more of a business side reason, is that it's an extra USP for us, because this free stuff that the community does, which is basically free PR for the project. So this USP is very strong, and it helps projects get real users, get real people active in their Discord or Telegram, and it gets real people trading and buying the token. So, aside from VCs, and they stick with this project through the whole vesting period. So it really works well, this idea, and it's sort of a win-win, which is extremely difficult to do in
Definitely.
business.
I think I would like to highlight two things that really attracted me. Okay, one, the first one is from the community's point of view. There are a lot of rug pulls, the scam coming out all the time, and people get sucked into it, right? Because there's the hype and so on. One key thing you mentioned is that you perform your due diligence. You check out the project. You might go into details, read the papers, and you're very familiar with different projects. I think you and your team can spot immediately if there's a big team behind it, a real team, if they're selling or offering something of value, which a lot of people, as you mentioned before, want to invest, but they don't have the experience to do so.
Exactly.
They can get sucked into a rug pull, and then it's too late. They can lose everything. It is happening all the time, more and more. Even in the NFT area, was a report. I'm not sure it was.
Especially in the NFT area,
Yeah,
because
they said like 40% is just people selling somebody else pieces of art, get the money, disappear, and so on. So I think that's very valuable what you're offering for the community. And as you said, for the project itself, I think it's really good that you can give this PR. You're not charging. The community can transfer funds directly to them for their reassurance. So yeah, it's definitely a differentiator that I have not seen before in other VC companies. And again, you're not taking like a management fee, which is kind of like almost the usual thing somebody would expect.
yeah.
I think those differentiators are worth mentioning, and again for our viewers, and again to our viewers, to know more about BlockDesk Ventures, whether you're community or whether you're planning to launch your own project, please visit the website. You can have it here below. It's blockdeskventures.io. And please, you also can get in contact with the company. You can see below the link. It's BlockDesk Ventures. Find them in Telegram. You have their handle down below. Get in
This
contact
is
with them. And
where our community is. So if you want to just join the community and see how it works, that's where you go.
perfect, great. So please get to know more about this, about this venture capital company, BlockDesk. You can get in contact with them and the community. Now, once said that, I would like to go a little bit into the details, into your portfolio. First of all, if you allow me, I would like to share your webpage.
For sure.
Yeah, because I noticed something very interesting. The different that you have out there, the different portfolio of companies that you have already help assisted.
Yeah.
And you can see here, there are quite a few of them. And my question is, from all of these, which project in your portfolio or that might be even in your pipeline,
Yeah.
would you consider to be most of the innovative one?
Oh, this is a this is a tough question because I'm obliged to say all of them are innovative.
All of them. Do you have something that one
Yes.
offers something different or raise the bar?
Yes, so I think the number one project that we are all excited about is HydroSwap. So HydroSwap is going to be a DEX based on Solana.
Uh-huh.
They recently had investment directly from Solana. They're really focusing on impermanent loss and a lot of other features that current DEXs don't have. So they're going to be the center point of all Solana based assets when it comes to launching them, listing them, and everything else basically. And so they got direct support from Solana. So this is a project with one of the best teams ranging from Dow Ventures and people who've worked in this industry for since the beginning. This is one project I'm very excited about. It hasn't launched yet, so it's definitely something I would keep an eye out for. And the project next to it, also Luxy, is going to be a brand new NFT marketplace, also not launched. They're really focusing on artists and on allowing people to create their own collections. So even if you want to just do some hand drawings and release your NFTs and see what your community or your friends think about it, you can do that. So that's pretty exciting. I guess I'll give you three. Pegasus is our most recent investment, and this is going to be also a DEX based on the Syscoin blockchain. I'm not sure if anyone listening remembers Syscoin, but it's an OG coin that's it's a fork of Bitcoin, but they're moving into smart contracts also. So Pegasus is going to be their first DEX, and from what I've seen, DEXs have performed extremely well, especially the first ones on a specific chain. So HydroSwap will be Solana's main DEX. Pegasus will be Syscoin's main DEX. So these are the three projects which haven't launched that I would suggest keeping an eye out for.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, Edward. I know it was not an easy question, and we get some interesting tips here for our viewers. Thank you. Appreciate that. Now, once that we are on your website, I would like to just highlight to those viewers out there who would like, maybe they're developing their own project, they are able to get in contact with BlockDesk Ventures and actually apply. You might be able to apply for BlockDesk, and actually, you can see it here. You just have to press the apply button, and it will lead you straight there. And they will actually give you this feedback. So I guess our viewers can imagine something like Shark Tank, but with all the nastiness happening around it. But otherwise, they will be able to give you the feedback. And if you do have something solid, who knows, maybe something will even can go forward for that. So having said that, or taking that part out of the way, I would like to ask Edward, if you could talk a little bit about the partnership that LATOKEN will have with BlockDesk Ventures.
Yeah, this is something I'm very excited about. I guess this is one of the main reasons I'm on the show, is to officially announce the partnership. So we're gonna put it after this show, we're gonna put it online and let our communities know. But BlockDesk Ventures is going to be partnering with LATOKEN, and we're going to be focusing a majority of our time on deal flow. So we're going to be focusing on getting more projects on board, launching more projects, and then listing them on LATOKEN. So this will really benefit, first of all, our community, because we will have allocations into these projects, into the early stages of these projects for our community. So this is why everybody should join us, because we'll be giving out allocations to private rounds and seed rounds and strategic rounds, and then you will be able to trade it on LATOKEN when we start listing these projects. So this partnership is going to focus once again a lot on deal flow and helping anybody who has an idea making the idea reality. Obviously, it has to be a good one. That's the key here. But if you got a great idea and obviously our core team approves it, then we can make an investment and we can help you deliver it to the industry, connect you with LATOKEN, connect you with partners, and give you, a very successful launch.
Thank you, Edward. In this regard, also, I wanted to ask. This is a fantastic opportunity because
Mhm.
venture capital is partnering with a listing and with an exchange
Yeah.
company. So it's a great, fantastic symbiosis that can happen here. My question was when you mentioned that a project can apply to you, in what stage does this project have to be? In initial stage, already almost for an IEO?
So we prefer the earlier stages.
Early stage. Okay.
We're more than happy to accept if you're ready for an IO, but obviously you still need to have allocations for us in the private rounds or strategic rounds. Because we wouldn't invest in like a public sale or something like that, for example. But if there are allocations there, then we're happy to invest at the later stages. But obviously, what we do is we help projects, put everything together. Ideally, you would have a deck, tokenomics, um, social media setup. So just the basic setup, and obviously developers who are already either developing or ready to start developing when the funds are there. So that those would be the stages at which we're happy to invest.
Okay, great. That's really good news. So the earlier the better.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I wanted your opinion about La token itself. Every crypto exchange has its own differentiators, right? Distinguishing points. In your opinion, what sets La token aside from other crypto exchanges that are in the market?
Well, as I said, I've been in the industry for a while now, so I would call our token an OG exchange. You guys have been around for a while, so obviously it's trusted and it's secure. But alongside that, I think because you list a variety of projects and you help projects, which let's say a really big exchange, it will be too expensive for them to list. You
Mhm.
have a much bigger variety. So as a trader or even an investor, I don't really need to go to many exchanges in order to invest in different projects. And I think it's that variety which is key. And the most successful exchanges are the ones who have variety. And of course, the amount of users that you have at the moment is also good because it creates good volumes for these projects which get listed on your exchange. So I think that because you have that base, this is the key thing that our traders and investors want. A small exchange just doesn't deliver that, and I think that's why most of them die out so quickly.
Mhm. Okay, thank you for your feedback. Really appreciate that. Once again, to our viewers, you can please go to visit blockdeskventures.io. You have all the information there to learn more about the company, whether you're a community that would like to invest in the next big project, or whether you are going to have your own project, you're going to develop your own token, you can share the idea with them. And also, you can join the community in Telegram. Simply use the handle BlockDesk Ventures that you can see below your screen. Edward, our time is coming up. I wanted to thank you, but before I let you go, do you have any final words for our viewers today?
Well, once again, thank you for joining us. As you said, please do join our communities because we're going to be working with our token directly. We're looking into NFT projects, into other crypto projects to invest in. And obviously, if you're launching your own project, you can join. So we go an open chat. We can discuss anything that you want. So come and join up and yeah, check out what we're all about yourself.
Thank you very much for those kind words, Edward. For you and your team, fantastic. We're looking forward for this into this partnership that we're forming.
Likewise.
And we do hope you to have you again,
Mhm.
Edward, in our show, or even as a panelist in the
For
close
sure.
future. And
Yeah, I
then,
think me and the team are discussing that I might join the panel for some projects as well. So definitely looking forward to that.
perfect. So that I think it'll be a perfect fit. And to our viewers today, thank you very much for your tuning in to our show. And then we'll see you in the next show. And have a great day and stay safe. Thank you very much, Edward.
The best. Bye bye.